Jnanatimidandasya Janaganasalakayam Chakshusmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manamistam Shapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Bhagaramaya Dadati Sapadantikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We're reading in the song by Narottam Das Thakur, how Prabhupada was saying in the purport that when we get the mercy of Lord Nityananda, then we can enter in Vrindavan. Then we can engage in the Radha Krishna loving affairs. So Krishnadas Kaviraj, we see here, he got the grace of Lord Nityananda. How did he get that grace? Because he was sorry to see Lord Nityananda's devotee insulted. So this is the first qualification. We should have affection for the devotees of the Lord. For the devotees of the Lord. Then the Lord will be pleased with us. This is the process. Not that we can directly try to please Lord Nityananda, but if we please Lord Nityananda's devotees, and that pleasure is on both sides. By glorifying them and by chastising those who are against them. It's not just a sentimental thing, oh, we just love Nityananda, and even if somebody hates Nityananda, it doesn't bother us. No, it bothers us. That has to be there. The Mayavadis, they want to make it all one. They don't like that we can become angry in spiritual life. But we saw Srila Prabhupada angry with those who are blaspheming the Lord. Bhagavatam says if we don't become angry, then we'll become condemned. So Krishnadas was angry, therefore Nityananda blessed him, came to him in a dream, and told him to go to Vrindavan, to leave the place. The place was contaminated. Don't remain in your brother's house. So it must not have been easy for him to immediately just pick up and leave. But he was getting the order from above. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada got the order from his spiritual master to leave that place, the house that he was living in, Grihastha Ashram, and take sannyas to go to Vrindavan. But Prabhupada was thinking, how can I do that? How can I take sannyas? But his spiritual master was insisting, and so he was obliged, take the child in the next, to leave his house and go for sannyas, for preaching. And so we know the result. So we have to be open to that ongoing revelation. This should be our qualification. It's not something static. Oh, I know what I'm supposed to do every moment. No, we have to be open. What does Krishna want us to do? He may change his plan, just like we saw in the last days when Srila Prabhupada was ill. He was changing his plans every day, every second day. He was going to go to the West. No, then he changed his mind. They went in and bought the tickets, then he changed his mind. So we had to be ready to whatever you said, Prabhupada. Bring a Bullock's card. He wants to go on Trivikrama. We had to be ready to do it. Although we were thinking, how can he go? He's so ill. Well, we brought the Bullock's card. We had to. That's the principle: is that we should always be open to the order coming from above. Otherwise, we become complacent. It will be turned into a religious thing. We go to church on Easter Sunday, and then the rest of the time we just do whatever we feel like doing. No, we have to be ready to take the order of the Lord on our head at any moment. And that He'll reveal it to us if we're sincere. The two sides again. We have to be sincere to glorify the Lord, and we have to be sincere not only with others but within our own hearts to remove those thoughts and those inclinations which are contrary or which are not pleasing to the Lord. So of course it begins with ourselves, not that we just get angry with people. We get angry with our own lower nature, our own stubborn attachment to sense gratification. We don't just accept it. We struggle against it. Of course, we're in the material world, we're coming from the material side. Naturally, we're going to be attracted to sense gratification. We can't just immediately, abruptly give it up. But we should see it for what it is and try to come out of it. Don't remain complacent and think, oh, well, what can I do? Maya is so strong. I'm so weak. No, we have to fight. We have to fight against the lower nature. And if we are sincere in that struggle, then we will get the mercy of the spiritual master. Spiritual master is considered the representative of Nityananda. How is that? Because Nityananda's position is what? He's always bringing everyone to Lord Chaitanya, to Krishna. So this is the business of the spiritual master. He's not interested, you should surrender to me. No, he wants you to surrender to Krishna. Of course, the system is through the spiritual master, but he's not thinking, oh, now I'm very advanced, I have so many disciples. No. He's thinking, if I was a better servant, I'd have more people would come through me to Krishna. Prabhupada even was thinking like that. I remember him saying at one point something about how much power we have. And in a sense, not lamenting, but thinking we have very little power in the world. Prabhupada was thinking, what do I have? 5,000 disciples out of 5 billion people in the world? He was ready to, take more and more. He wasn't thinking, oh, now I have enough, now I'm complacent. No, he wanted to save the whole world. And so in order to do that, we have to feel our lacking also. Then we're open for the mercy. The mercy will come more and more. But as soon as we become complacent, as soon as we think now we've achieved that, our goal, then we start going down again. If we're not progressing in spiritual life, then Maya will catch us. Alright? You want to relax for a while? Well, here, why not enjoy this while you're relaxing? Maya will offer. Enjoy this. Now you're a big devotee. You can have so much facility. So much opportunity for money and wealth and beautiful women. And so, what is the harm? You've done so much. That mentality will come. So we have to be careful not to indulge that. To always be serious about making progress in spiritual life. Be willing to take some austerity, to push ourselves. Little. Always push. Not become in a rut and think, okay, now I'm advanced. I don't have to. Again. Even Prabhupada was thinking like that. How to open the Bombay temple. In the last days he was advising, and how to invite this person and that person. He was always thinking how to expand the Krishna conscious movement. So following in his footsteps, we can also have that same meditation. Now Krishna has given us a nice facility. We're going to have more opportunity to serve Krishna, but we shouldn't think now we're finished. No, we should always be trying to expand Prabhupada's movement. Then Krishna will help us more and more. We'll be enlivened by that, because that's will give us a real taste. We're looking for taste, but we're getting it on the material side is simply chewing the chew. But on the spiritual side, it's newer and newer. Now we have a nice project. Then how do we expand that project? How we can have more projects? We can bring people that we've never met even and invite them. And so in this way, it's always dynamic. Whereas spiritual life, material life, all right, you have the pleasure of sex life and pleasure of eating, the tongue and the belly and the genital. These are the main pleasures in this life. But how much can you eat? How much sex life can you have? How much can you fill your belly without becoming indigestion? So these things are all limited. But the spiritual life is like what does Lord Chaitanya said? Like an ocean of pleasure, an ocean, ananda. And although we're very small, the jiva is very tiny, particle of God, but the pleasure we can feel is unlimited, practically. The great unfathomable depth of Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. We can't even measure how much pleasure is there on the spiritual side. But still, we're holding on to these little material pleasures. We're afraid, oh, if I give this up, then I may be the loser. So we have to exhort each other, push each other to surrender more and more, and so we'll really get the higher taste. Then when we get that higher taste, we'll surrender more. And then the more taste we'll get, the more we'll surrender. And so it's like eternal process, goes on and on and on. You ready? Huh?
Offering.
Okay, any comments? Someone else can speak.
Maybe you could speak about that pastime that was mentioned a little more.
Go ahead.
No, there's another book underneath.
I don't know if that book is bona fide.
I didn't know what the book was.
What about the past?
I think
The pastime that Prabhupada was mentioning there, maybe you could expand on that a little bit.
Which one was that?
When
With
Krishnadas
Kaviraj.
Kaviraj
He
He broke his flute.
Uh-huh. Anyone else with comments? Could read some more from here. Let me offer my obeisances to Lord Nityananda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose opulence is wonderful and unlimited. By his will, even a fool can understand his identity. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balaram is his second body. Purport. Lord Sri Krishna, the Absolute Personality of Godhead, is the primeval Lord, the original form of Godhead, and his first expansion is Sri Balaram. The Personality of Godhead can expand himself in innumerable forms. The forms that have unlimited potencies are called Swamsa, and forms that have limited potencies, the living entities, are called Vibhinamsa. Next verse. These two are one and the same identity. They differ only in form. Lord Balaram is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists Lord Krishna in transcendental pastimes. Purport. Balaram is Swamsa, expansion of the Lord, a Swamsa, expansion of the Lord. And therefore there is no difference in potency between Krishna and Balaram. The only difference is their bodily structure. As the first expansion of Godhead, Balaram is the chief deity among the first quadruple forms, and he is the foremost assistant of Sri Krishna in his transcendental activities. The original Lord Sri Krishna appeared in Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. May Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankrishan, Seshanaga, and the Vishnus who lie on the Karna ocean, Garbha ocean, and ocean of milk are his plenary portions, and his portions of plenary portions. Lord Balaram is the original Sankirtan. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Lord Sri Krishna. In all the forms he tastes the transcendental bliss of serving Krishna. That same Balaram is Lord Nityananda, the companion of Lord Gaurasundar. I have explained the 7th verse and 4 subsequent verses. By these verses all the world can know the truth about Lord Nityananda. I surrender unto the lotus feet of Nityananda Ram, who is known as Sankishan, in the midst of the Chatur Vyuha, consisting of Vasudev, Sankishan, Padumya, and Aniruddha. He possesses full opulences and resides in Vaikuntha Loka, far beyond the material creation. This is a verse from Swarup Damodar Goswami's diary. It appears in the 8th of the 14th verses of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Beyond the material sky lies the realm known as Paravyoma, the spiritual sky. Like Lord Sri Krishna himself, it possesses all transcendental attributes, such as the 6 opulences. And it goes on. Pastimes about Balaram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So here's that pastime. Respectable Brahmin named Sri Gunarvarna Mishra was serving the deity. When Minikatan, he's the disciple of Lord Nityananda. Well, let's start from the beginning. Lord Nityananda Prabhu had a servant named Sri Minikatan Ramdas, who was a reservoir of love. At my house there was a Sankirtan day and night, and therefore he visited there, having been invited. Absorbed in emotional love, he sat in my courtyard, and all the Vaishnavas bowed down at his feet. In a joyful mood of love of God, he sometimes climbed upon the shoulders of someone, offering obeisances. And sometimes he struck others with his flute, or mildly slapped them. When someone saw the eyes of Minikatan Ramdas, tears would automatically flow from his own eyes. For a constant shower of tears flowed from the eyes of Minikatan Ramdas. Sometimes there were eruptions of ecstasy, like a kadamba flower, on some parts of his body, and sometimes one limb would be stunned while another would be trembling. Whenever he shouted aloud the name Nityananda, the people around him were filled with great wonder and astonishment. Who can shout like that?
Nityananda!
One respectable Brahmin named Sri Gunavarna Mishra was serving the deity. When Minikatan was seated in that yard, this Brahmin did not offer him respect. Seeing this, Ramadas became angry and spoke. Here I find the second Ramaharshana Sutta, who did not stand to show honor when he saw Lord Balaram. After saying this, he danced and sang to his heart's content, but the Brahmin did not become angry, for he was then serving the Lord Krishna. Purport. Minikatan Ramdas was a great devotee of Lord Nityananda. When he entered the house of Krishnadas Kaviraj, Gunar Narva Mishra, the priest who was worshipping the deity installed in the house, did not receive him very well. A similar event occurred when Ramaharshan Sutta was speaking to the great assembly of sages at Namisharanya. Lord Balaram, or Baladev, entered that great assembly, but since Ramaharshan Sutta was on the Vyasa Sangha, he did not get down to offer respects to Lord Baladev. The behavior of Guna Narva Mishra indicated that he had no great respect for Lord Nityananda, and this idea was not at all palatable to Minikatan Ramadas. For this reason, the mentality of Minikatan Ramadas is never depreciated by devotees. At the end of the festival, Minikatan Ramdas went away, offering his blessings to everyone. At that time, he had some controversy with my brother. My brother had firm faith in Lord Chaitanya, but only a dim glimmer of faith in Lord Nityananda. Knowing this, Ramadas felt unhappy in his mind. I then rebuked my brother. These two brothers, I told him, are like one body. They are identical manifestations. I do not believe in Lord Nityananda. If you do not believe in Lord Nityananda, you will fall down. If you have faith in one but disrespect the other, your logic is like the logic of accepting half a hen. You know that story? Half a hen. It would be better to be an atheist by slighting both brothers than a hypocrite by believing in one and slighting the other. So, this was Krishnadas Kaviraj speaking. So he spoke to his brother quite strongly. Then Sri Ramadas broke his flute in anger and went away. At that time, my brother fell down. I have thus described the power of the servants of Lord Nityananda. Now I shall describe another characteristic of his mercy. That night, Lord Nityananda appeared to me in a dream because of my good quality in chastising my brother. In the village of Jamatapura, which is near Naihati, Lord Nityananda appeared to me in a dream. I fell at his feet offering my obeisances, and he then placed his own lotus feet upon my head. Arise, get up, he said. He told me again and again. Upon arising, I was astonished to see his great beauty. He had a glossy, blackish complexion, and his tall, strong, heroic stature made him look like Cupid himself. He had beautifully formed hands, arms, and legs, and eyes like lotus flowers. He wore a silk cloth and a silk turban in his head. He wore golden earrings on his ears, and golden armlets and bangles. He wore tinkling anklets on his feet and a garland of flowers around his neck. His body was anointed with sandalwood pulp, and he was nicely decorated with tilak. His movements surpassed those of a maddened elephant. His face was more beautiful than millions upon millions of moons, and his teeth were like pomegranate seeds because of his chewing beetle. His body moved to and fro, right and left, and he was absorbed in ecstasy, chanting, Krishna, Krishna, in a deep voice. His red stick moved in his hand. His red stick moving in his hand, he seemed like a maddened lion. All around the four sides of his feet were bumblebees. His devotees, dressed like cowherd boys, surrounded his lotus feet like so many bees, and also chanted, Krishna, Krishna, absorbed in ecstatic love. Some of them played horns and flutes, and others danced and sang. Some of them offered betel nuts, and others waved chamara fans about him. Thus I saw the opulence in Lord Nityananda's Swarup. His wonderful form, qualities, and pastimes are all transcendental. I was overwhelmed with transcendental ecstasy, not knowing anything else. Then Lord Nityananda smiled and spoke to me as follows. O my dear Krishna Das, do not be afraid. Go to Vrindavan, for there you will attain all things. After saying this, he directed me towards Vrindavan by waving his hand. Then he disappeared with his associates. I fainted and fell to the ground. My dream broke, and when I regained consciousness, I saw that morning had come. I thought about what had happened and what I had seen and heard, and concluded that the Lord had ordered me to proceed to Vrindavan at once. That very second I started for Vrindavan, and by his mercy I reached there in great happiness. All glories to Lord Nityananda Balaram, by whose mercy I have attained shelter in the transcendental abode of Vrindavan. All glories to the merciful Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatan. By his mercy I have attained the shelter of the great personality Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, and by his mercy I have found the refuge of Sri Swarup Damodar. By the mercy of Sanatana Goswami I have learned the final conclusion of devotional service, and by the grace of Sri Rupa Goswami I have tasted the highest nectar of devotional service. All glories to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained Shri Radha and Govinda. I am more sinful than Jagai and Madhai, and even lower than the worms in the stool. Anyone who hears my name loses the result of his pious activities. Anyone who utters my name becomes sinful. Who in this world but Nityananda could show his mercy to such an abominable person as me? Because he is intoxicated by ecstatic love and an incarnation of mercy, he does not distinguish between good and the bad. He delivers all of those fallen down before him. Therefore, he has delivered such a sinful and fallen person as me. Although I am sinful, I am the most fallen, he has conferred upon me the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami. I am not fit to speak all these confidential words about my visiting Lord Madan Gopal and Lord Govinda. Lord Madan Gopal, the chief deity of Vrindavan, is the enjoyer of the Rasa dance and is directly the son of the king of Raja. He enjoys the Rasa dance with Srimati Radharani, Sri Lalita, and others. He manifests himself as the Cupid of Cupids. Wearing yellow garments and decorated with the flower garland, Lord Krishna appears among the gopis with a smiling lotus face, looking directly like the charmer of the hearts of people. Jai Nityananda Ram ki.
Jai.
Jai Krishnadas Kaviraj ki.
Jai.
See, by the mercy of Lord Nityananda, that he was introduced to Sri Gopinath, or Madan Gopal.